What's going on, everyone? So I'll try to, condense this as best as possible. I stumbled upon an article. It was titled "Experts Say Keto is the Worst Diet Ever." Let me just quickly paraphrase it. The latest U.S. News and World Report has ranked keto as one of the worst diets to follow for your health. It's the third consecutive year where the report has placed keto at the bottom or near the bottom of lists of the best diets overall. It decides its rankings based on government data, medical journals, and feedback from a panel of health and nutrition experts. The keto diet, for people who don't know, is a low carbohydrate diet intended to reduce rapid weight loss by restricting carbohydrates. The goal is to induce. Sorry, my tongue tied. The goal is to induce ketosis, or a metabolic state in which the body must draw energy from secondary sources such as fat. So you turn to a fat burning machine. A 2018 study published by the Lancet Public Health found that low carbohydrate diets such as the keto and paleo diets can reduce life expectancy. This is likely due to the fact that users typically replace carbohydrate rich foods with meat and dairy products. And let me finish it up. Research suggests that a diet heavy in animal based foods, particularly red and processed meats, can increase the risk of chronic diseases such as cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and cancer. And this is coming straight from the horse's mouth. This is coming from, or not my horse's mouth, this is coming from a vegan cardiologist. You may have heard of him. Vegans are probably more familiar with this guy, Dr. Kim Williams. And he's also, he's a vegan and he's a cardiologist. So I wanted to quickly give you my opinion on this. I'm not disputing, where's the part? I'm not disputing the fact that um, if you eat a lot of red meat and a lot of processed meats, that it can increase the chances of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and cancer. The sodium nitrates are not good for you. All those the meats that you get at the deli, the Oscar Mayer, red processed meat, trans fats, stuff like that, it can increase your chances of cardiovascular disease. I'm not disputing that, and they're saying that when you go on a keto diet because you need to replace the carbohydrates with something. A lot of people are eating these types of meats, and that therefore increasing their chances of getting these types of ailments, the cancer, the diabetes, the cardiovascular disease, the heart disease. 100% I'm not disputing that, but I think part of the problem when you have someone who's so passionate about having a certain or a person who takes a certain stance, in this case, this is a cardiologist who is vegan, in a way, I feel like, I'm not saying him for sure, but it kind of feels like um, it's hard to be objective, I guess you can say, because for one, no one is telling you that if you go on a ketogenic diet that you have to eat processed meats all the time. Of course, if you eat a lot of processed meats, of course, if you eat a lot of red meat on the ketogenic diet, you're going to increase your chances of the ailments that I spoke about. You don't have to. There are other lean sources of protein. I would like to see the studies based on people that were on a keto diet who weren't eating a lot of processed meats for their calories, and a lot of red meat. I want to see those studies. Of course, if you just lump in all the ones that eat those types of meats, you can increase your chances. Therefore, you're going to do that. You're going to spin it in a way, and then put the article out, and then all the vegans or a lot of vegans are going to say, "See, you see what I mean? You see what I mean?" Or at the same time, and this is not hatred towards vegans, but you really need to try to be objective, because there are studies out there. You just Google it. There are studies on plant-based diets and some of the negative effects. And I mean, you could go back and forth, kind of like politics. You have, you know, instead of trying to educate and try to find the truth, you kind of have an agenda. You have team A versus team B, and it's just like whose team, whose side are you on? And let me create Swiss cheese holes in your argument. Let me find just something, and I can just spin it in a certain way. Now, I'm not saying this doctor in this article is intended to do that, but it's a little misleading because, like I said, there's other lean sources of protein that a lot of people on a ketogenic diet can consume. You could eat cottage cheese. You can eat organic free-range eggs. It's good sources of protein. You can eat free-range organic chicken. You can eat wild fish. Those are all great sources of protein. And now I've done low carbohydrate, high protein diets. I don't necessarily know if for sure if I've been on a keto diet necessarily. I haven't tested. I didn't get those ketone strips to test for it, but I have been on a low carbohydrate diet, and to me, it from personal experience, it does work. Now, do I believe in the keto diet necessarily? Do I think it's a little bit on the extreme side? I think for long-term health or for long-term sustainability, I do believe that it is slightly I don't want to say unrealistic, but less chance of being sustainable for the long term. I'm more about, yes, keeping the carbohydrates a little bit more moderate and getting more balanced diet, and getting exercise. So I'm not pro 100% keto diet, but I'm for sure not 100% against it. The other thing that I think a lot of people that have a certain viewpoint and they have these blinders on, I think what they fail to realize is to look at the overall picture. And the overall picture is the keto diet or the plant-based diet or the Atkins diet or the zone diet, Mediterranean, paleo, whatever it is. Most of those diets, if you follow it, it's probably 90% or even higher better than most people's regular diets, the American diet. Is that not true? Is that 100%? Whether you're for vegans, against vegetarianism, you're a meat eater, whatever it is, you gotta, no matter where you stand, don't you agree with that? What is the standard American diet? It's McDonald's, it's KFC, it's processed food, it's high in fat, high in sugar, high in caffeine, right? So if people are choosing a certain type of diet, then so be it. It's probably, they may get increase their small chances of getting certain things based on these certain conflicting studies, but I bet you there is a direct correlation when you lose a lot of weight. Someone who's on a keto diet and they lose 100 pounds, I'm fairly certain that they're going to have less joint pain, less arthritis in their legs. They're going to be more mobile. They're going to have less strain on their heart. But what this study is going to say, well, no, you're going to increase your chances of cardiovascular disease. That's not necessarily true, because everyone's different. Like I said, I haven't done straight keto diet. I'm not sure if I was in ketosis, but I've done a low carbohydrate diet, and when I did it, my blood pressure went down. I have high blood pressure in my family, slightly elevated. My blood pressure went down. My vitals were fine. My cholesterol was fine. My energy was fine. I did fine, So, you get these studies, it just kind of annoys me that they would oversimplify an article or oversimplify a study. Kind of feels like there's ulterior motives. So I'm not here to rag on veganism or any of that. I just feel like any type of diet is better than the American diet, which is no diet. That's the facts. So and if you guys have followed my channel for a while, you know that I do believe in a higher protein, lower carbohydrate diet. Not as strict as keto, but I don't preach it. I can suggest what has worked for me and what I think is good, but I'm never gonna be like, don't, unless there's irrefutable 100% evidence. I am not going to say don't be a vegan, don't do that, because I'm still learning a lot of stuff as I get older, just like you guys and gals. And one last thing I want to say is 3 out of my 4 grandparents, all my grandparents are dead now, but 3 out of the 4, rest in peace, they lived like 94 to 95 years old, and until the past 3 or 4 years, all the way up until like upper 80s, very healthy. They ate meat, They didn't even eat organic. They didn't have organic back then. They didn't eat free range. They didn't do any of that. And they lived a really long time. There are people that eat meat who live a long time. There's people that eat meat who don't live a long time, and vice versa. There's a lot of people that are vegans, plant-based. What remains to be seen, because veganism has been more prevalent the past couple of years. But as of right now, there's going to be people that are vegan or vegetarian that live a long time, and there's going to be ones that don't live a long time. I've treated cancer patients that ran marathons, never smoked a cigarette in their life, and got lung cancer. And then I know family friends who had a chain smoker who never even got cancer. It's not all about the diet. Sometimes it's a roll of the dice, and some of it is genetic. But that's for another discussion. 11 minutes in, that's it. Thanks for watching. Take all studies with, I wouldn't say a grain of salt, but just stay open-minded, and just like politics, know that people that write articles and stuff, particularly, are trying to get headlines, trying to get more traffic to their website, trying to be an extremist to get attention. So that doesn't necessarily mean that their information is accurate. Always check your sources, be objective, and think for yourself. That's my time. Thanks for watching. Bye.